So this will be a quick overview and installation video for the Idoing Android radio for your WRX and STI. When I initially got my 2018 STI, I was really disappointed in the quality of the radio. It was like 10 years prior technology in a 2018 car, which is ridiculous, but you know, that's how car manufacturers do it. So I took to the internet to find an Android radio, as we usually do, and probably why you're watching this video. It comes with everything you need to install the unit. You know, whether you have the premium audio with the amp or not, and it's really high quality. I mostly bought this for Apple CarPlay, to use Google Maps, and to use like the music app to listen to music. The sound quality is much better than what you get from the stock radio. It's louder, the sound's more full, and yeah, the EQ is just a lot better than the output. It's just like more powerful, if that makes sense. I'm not really big into you know, premium audio, but I can definitely hear the difference as very apparent. The trim, the quality of the trim is very good. It's basically the same as the stock pieces, and overall the fit and finish, the clips and everything, they fit perfectly, and can't go wrong with this for under $400. This is an amazing buy. You can see it has this plastic wrap on it. That's just to prevent it from getting scratched. I inquired about that because I thought that was a little strange, but they said it's normal. So yeah, you can see the CarPlay works with Apple Music. That is CarPlay, and that's the main reason why I got this. So it connects wirelessly, but it connects wirelessly through Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. So it's kind of weird that you can't use your Wi-Fi at the same time. So if we wanted to use your Wi-Fi as a hotspot, it wouldn't work. So unless you have another device that has connectivity maybe, and you can connect to it, that's the only downside of this radio. But if you didn't plan on like using your phone as a hotspot for the radio to play like YouTube videos on here or whatever, then it's good to go. Otherwise, you don't actually need to use the wireless. You can just use it wired with the included USB adapters like on the radio, and then you can use the hotspot to watch videos and stuff, but you just have to plug your phone in. So that's like the trade-off. If you want to use wireless, you can't use your phone as a hotspot. Otherwise, you just have to plug it in using the plug that comes with the radio, which you can route to your center console like I did. So if we go home here, you can see we have the standard like Android launcher, and you know, pretty much you can get whatever app you want on here through Google Play, which I don't really use. But if you have like some diagnostic app that you use on here, you can plug in a Bluetooth dongle and connect it to here, and you can do like diagnostics right on the radio here. You can get some launchers to kind of make it look nice, which I don't. So this is kind of like this looks like the iDrive on a BMW actually. So this is kind of like a launcher, but I usually just default right to Apple Play. Like I said, I just bought this specifically for Apple Play, but I feel like most people probably are going to do that. But there is the option to use it as an Android device as well. And yeah, so like you can do this. You can get your OBD checker, and you can just plug it right into your OBD port and connect it right to the radio with Bluetooth. You know, it's an Android device, so you have access to all the typical Android settings. Yeah, it works really well with your steering wheel controls as well. You can set them up relatively easy. So yeah, it's really easy to map your buttons to the steering wheel. You go right into steering wheel setting here. So you have this menu here, and essentially what you do is you press the button and you see that the values on the top change, and that is a signal that the steering wheel switch is sending to the radio. you know, through the wire harness that existed in the car already. So you can see the numbers on top when I'm pressing this up button change, and then all you have to do is while you're holding the button, so for instance, I'm holding the volume up button, and by the way, I reset the steering wheel key map so I can show you guys this. So right now I'm holding the up button on the steering wheel, like the volume up, and you can see there's a key for volume up, so I'm just gonna tap that, and now you can see that that key is mapped to the one you were holding. So the volume down, you can see that's generating a different code when I press that, and just go ahead and press volume down, and now that is also mapped to that key. Any app, I mean, you could put oh, these are the actual Apple apps. So, you know, Apple allows you to have certain apps in here. So if you wanted to listen to your audiobooks, you can do that too. You can see I'm doing really adult reading with my book library here. And you have your Subaru app. You can also change the color values of the buttons. You know, it has like this RGB mixer, and you can just kind of pick one or mix your own, and that essentially lights up the buttons here. If you're using the cord instead of the wireless, you could watch YouTube on here, or, you know, any other internet activities. And the screen itself is pretty awesome. There's no like discoloration when you press on it from like compressing the liquid crystals, because this is like pretty much cell phone quality glass. They did tell me it was some kind of Gorilla Glass or something like that. I'll post it on the video here if I go look back at my messages. But yeah, the color, the definition, it's looks like it's high definition. I don't really see any pixelation or anything like that. So yeah, this is definitely worth the money, considering that it comes with the bezels, with the radio. Yeah. If you have an older STI or WRX and you're disappointed at that piece of shit radio that they came with, definitely pick one of these up. Link is in the description. Obviously, if you use the link, it helps out the channel a little bit, and I can make more content for you guys at no extra cost to you. So sorry the video is kind of short. I missed out on showing a couple of features like the backup camera, which works really well, just as good as stock, if not better, and Google Maps, which is amazing. That's the things I use the most, the Google Maps and the music app. Truth be told, I sold my WRX, so I just used the content I had already, but let's check out how to install it. Take out that screw. The easiest way to take this part out is to pull it straight forward. And this is a 2018, so the climate control return isn't actually attached to this face, but in some earlier models it's attached to this face, so just be careful when you pull this out. You got to unclip the climate control return, which is not if it's 2018 or above. The bolt that has to be removed is, let me see if I can point to it, that bolt right there. That's right next to that black vertical tube thing. Now, I've seen videos of people taking off the steering column cover to get their ratchet in there, but I was able to I have this swivel extension, and I was able to crack it using the swivel extension, and it's a 10 millimeter bolt. So you can see the bolt is out, and what I did is I pretty much unscrewed it till it was almost out, and then I pulled it out the rest of the way with this just little magnetic telescoping tool. On the passenger side, glove box. On the door side, there's this little clip squeeze this together and pull this out like that. Then you're just gonna pull towards the seat on the corner. Because it's just like these tension capture clips on the bottom. So on the middle console side, I'm just gonna grab the corner and pull it up towards the seat. And it should pop out, and then the other side will pop out too. Then you have to take the other bolt out, which is right there, right above that yellow wiring loom. Then I'm going to start prying this top part off. So. I'm just going to go ahead and pull this whole part off. And once you pull this off, you're gonna have to unclip the wires for the hazard button and the screen control button. So let's go ahead and unclip those. Let's see if I can do it while I'm holding the camera. I apologize. I'm gonna have to put it down, but there's retention clips. I'll show you when I'm done. All right, so I got that off. So it's easier to start from with the hazard button on top and then do the screen select button. And here's the plugs. And basically it'll be visible like this, and you have to press down on this part. You're gonna press down here and pull it out. Press down here and pull it out. Once you get that top part off, you're gonna have to take out these two 10 millimeter bolts. Once you get those two bolts out, you're gonna kind of get both hands, one here, and pry it straight forward. Just put steady, even pressure on there, and it should pop out. And try not to hurt yourself while you're doing it. All of these plugs back here, they're basically the same thing as the hazard switch plug. There's a retention clip on top that you press down and unclip it. So just go ahead and unclip all of these plugs. All right, so this is what it should look like when you take it out. If you have Starlink, that's what this black module is here, with this white, green, and brown plugs, and these two plugs. So you're going to retain this to the new radio. And also we're going to get the adapter to connect the USB to the factory radio. All right, so now we have to remove the HVAC controls from the radio, which are these 4 bolts, 2, 3, 4. And we're gonna have to take this bracket off the side to get to this bolt, and also to release the Starlink module. The Starlink module is bolted in through those 2 holes there on either side. All right, so once we have those 2 brackets off, we have the Starlink module released. So we're gonna put that with the new radio. And now we just need to remove those 4 Phillips screws to take the HVAC control out. All right, so now we have the HVAC control out of the OEM stereo. And we're going to start install the Starlink module and the climate control into the new one. All right, so I'm going to put the HVAC controls in here now. Those are in. All right, so now we got the HVAC control in. Let's see if there's a way we can fit this in better. Yeah, so I think we're just gonna have to just kind of set the Starlink in there, which really shouldn't be a big deal. So this is pretty much what the stereo comes with. And then we're gonna have to transfer the buttons and the vents over. So the buttons, if you kind of just push them from the back, they kind of pop right through. And then the vents are just held on by these 4 clips. Basically what I did was I popped this corner out first. And you gotta pull it up and pull that corner up. And then just do the same thing on the top. And obviously try not to break the vent closing mechanism on the side there, those little white circle things. These things. This one's still stuck. This one clipped back in apparently. There you go. You install those back into the Idoing one. Just go the opposite way. You know, if you kind of clip it in the bottom clips first, it's easier. And remember that the white mechanism thing goes on the side because the vent hole should line up with the slot there. I mean, the control should line up with the slot there. So you can see there are these holes where the tabs go through. And when they go through there, they clip onto these extrusions. So line up the top slots first, and then the bottom slots. And it should all clip into place. Reinstall our buttons. So the screen control, the hazard light, and then let's go put the harness in the car. Wire for the armrest USB. I'm gonna get the adapter for this so that I can use the armrest USB instead of this one. All right, so we pretty much got the harness set up. We got the USB running through there, which is temporary until I get the switch to connect the onboard USB. That's for the USB. And then we have the mic, which I threaded most of it through here. You can see here I bundled up the rest of the wire, and that goes down through there. I zip tied it onto this frame piece and it runs all the way under here, which I will tape this wire down so it's not visible. And the mic is there. And I took the the windscreen off the mic so it's less visible, because I don't intend for there to be any wind in my footwell, so I think it'll be fine. Alright guys, so one thing to note, I did set it up and I tried it out and everything worked except for my reverse camera. Now I was under the impression that since the 2018 didn't have like an analog plug like this for the reverse camera, it actually used, I thought this was my reverse camera signal. And this is the reverse plug signal, I believe, but it has to be relayed through the radio. So in order to do that, you have to use this other harness that it came with all of these yellow analog cords. And you'll see one that says CDD in, CCD in, CCD AV in, and you're gonna have to hook up CCD AV in to that. So this is coming, this one's coming from the harness. This one's coming from that plug adapter. Has all these other ones attached to it too. All right, so you're pretty much gonna match up all the plugs. Make sure this is your Wi-Fi antenna. This is your GPS antenna, which I just threw on the top of the radio unit. Match all the wires up to the appropriate plugs. They only fit into one. Each plug only fits into its proper plug, so you can't plug it into the wrong one. The only two I have left over here is this blue one, which I believe is the XM radio. And I don't know what this one is, but I can't find any corresponding plugs, so I guess it's not needed. And yeah, also on the harness itself from the radio, this was left over. I assume it's for like amp or something, Harman Kardon system, which I do not have in this car, so that is left over too. And that's about it. You can see I rerouted the backup camera to itself from the radio. So hopefully this works now. Let's try it out. And I just put the, putting it straight up and down it wouldn't fit. So I just put it laying this way, like the OEM one was. So it should fit. This head unit is smaller than the OEM one. Before you finish up, God, it's hot as fuck out here. I'm like sweating balls. Before you finish up, test it out. So let me get into the driver's seat and see if the camera works. You guys, you see I got the backup camera working. All right, so I got everything tucked back there nice. I got my Starlink unit sitting as far back as it can go and flush. I have all the wires tucked, the wire looms tucked into the back tabs over there. And hopefully this time the radio will sit flush and everything will work. So I got my car hooked up to this battery charger so we can mess around with the radio. And I finally got it to fit. The problem was the Starlink unit was in the way a little bit, so I had to kind of finagle it around, finagle the wires around the side. But we're there now. So just gotta turn it on. You can see it fires right up to the Z-Link. So for right now, I just have the USB going through my glove box until I get the adapter to plug it into my center console. And I just connected my phone. All right, so you can see I have CarPlay here. So it's a couple days later, and I got this off of Amazon. This is the USB adapter to connect the center hub USB to the radio for your Z-Link or CarPlay. And that's the model number you'll need. So my car is a 2018 STI. and it does not have the Harman Kardon radio. So this is the adapter, and I'll put some footage in here of what the plug actually looks like in my car so you can match it up to what you need. All right, so here's the plug, and that is what it looks like, which matches up to my USB. I'll show it to you.